YouTube world. As always, this is for you, all you new agents out there. Listen, if you ever started real estate completely fired up and then you found yourself slowly, or you just started and you're finding yourself slowly disappearing, this episode is for you. Hey, I'm Coach B. My name is Birgit. I'm your favorite real estate production coach that works with your brain and not against it. And welcome to another episode in our ongoing series, What They Don't Teach You in Real Estate School. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, well, they're all my favorite subjects, but we're talking about consistency and why you start strong and then you end up disappearing. And listen, it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you lack discipline, but because nobody explained to you what happens in your brain after the excitement wears off and the pressure kicks in. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to normalize. So you know that when you are finding yourself in that certain space, when you're in the middle of doing some things and all of a sudden it doesn't sound exciting or you don't want to do it anymore and the anxiety sets in, it's completely normal. So again, talk about consistency today, not as willpower, but as a nervous system skill. We're also going to have an awesome guest here today. Say hey to Aubrey. Aubrey, say hello for just a second.
Hello.
Yeah, so and Aubrey and I, we're going to, of course, chat here in just a little bit, and we're going to pick her brain because she's just such an awesome agent. And we want to know from all the amazing agents out there who have been doing this thing for a while and say, gosh, how was that for you when you first got into the industry? So one of the most common things that agents tell me quite a bit is they say to me, I don't understand why I can't stay consistent. I hear it all of the time. I work with new agents so much, and they first come in industry, all the things are happening, everything needs to get done at once. There is so much confusion because well, everything seems to be needing time and space at the same time. So They usually start strong, they post, they prospect, they organize, and then something shifts. You work with new agents, right? Or with you have new agents on your team, right, Aubrey?
Not currently, no.
Not currently, but you've worked with new agents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that kind of your experience when you worked with new agents too in the past?
Yeah, it was like they just didn't know what to do, how to get started, just staying on a track, putting a plan in place to move consistently forward, I think.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it just becomes then so overwhelming. So then usually momentum.
Yeah. Then
Exactly. Right. And so when momentum drops, agents start avoiding more. They don't tend to do all the things that we know. It's like stay on track, just keep doing them.
Right.
And instead of adjusting, they pull back, they tend to drop out, and on top of it, they end up judging themselves. And they're like, maybe I'm just not cut out for that industry. Right. I'm sure you encountered that, heard that so many times with some of the newer agents that you've worked with.
Yeah.
So all you newer agents out there, just know perfectly normal. And that's what we're here to normalize. Because here's what real estate school really doesn't teach you. Consistency isn't about wanting it more. It's about what your brain does when all the novelty fades and discomfort goes up, right? Early on, you're completely running on dopamine. You have a new license, you have a new identity, there's new possibilities, the money, all the things. But dopamine by itself really doesn't sustain effort. It just helps. It gives us a little bit of that push, and then something else has to kick in. So when the business gets repetitive, you hear it from your team leads, you hear it from the coaches that you're working with, they tell you, stay on task, keep doing these things, keep doing the boring things, just stay with the process and you will get there. That's when things tend to get a little squirrely for us. Gets repetitive, things get uncertain, we end up feeling more emotionally exposed, calls, follow-ups, visibility, and your nervous system, all the nervous systems out there, mine included, starts looking for relief when we start doing so many of the other things that have nothing to do with our business. Yeah, so when business gets repetitive, uncertain, emotionally exposed, the calls and the follow-up, the visibility, our nervous system just ends up looking for relief. We are all like that, including myself. Every week I go through the same thing. I write a column for my agent, goes out to over thousands of agents at this point. And every week, Thursday comes around and I start procrastinating and I'd rather do anything else then instead of getting started on my writing. So I am right there with you guys. But back to you guys. So today we're talking about not how to push harder per se. We're talking about why this pattern is so common and how to break it really without burning yourself out or starting over for the 10th time. You want to just do it once and stay consistent with it. And we have to, so the sooner we learn this, that the consistency is your key to success. And that even though when it feels so squirrely in your head and in your body, if you stick with it, you will get to where you need to go, the better that will be. And you're going to not lose as much momentum and stay more consistent just in general. Because
Right.
disappearing doesn't mean you failed. It usually means things got heavy and no one taught you how to work with that. And that
Right.
is part of our entire series that we're working here with.
Right.
Um, so tell me a little bit before we get into the more, and before I introduce you, but your agents that you have worked with, Aubrey, what have you observed from agents that have been there in that place?
A- As far as not staying consistent,
Yeah.
I just think that they didn't know, like, coming into it, that it's not just like, I mean, there's a reason why that we stay consistent in what we do, because it eventually over time will build results.
Yes.
And it's not just like a as soon as you walk in the business kind of thing, right? Like it takes time and it takes momentum and it takes the everything, the whole us and not just a piece of us. And so I think that's one of the biggest things, just from working with newer agents, that they just didn't realize, you know what I mean? That the more you do it, the
Yes.
better you get at it, and the consistency just becomes a habit at this point, you know? So,
Yeah, and I just love what you said. It takes the whole us. It takes the
mhm,
whole us. I think that is so pivotal. No,
yeah,
pivotal. Pivotal is it takes the whole us in recognizing, gosh, this is not a part-time thing. It's all of
right.
us has to be engaged in it, and every
Yeah.
day all of us has to be
hmm
engaged in it. And so I think that's a really, really big takeaway. So it takes
hmm
really the whole of you and every day keeping that consistency, going.
Right.
And with that, I am actually going to formally introduce you because
Okay.
you are such an awesome person,
Oh,
and
thanks.
I still only know just so little about you. So I'm going to introduce you, and then I have to ask you a couple of questions before we
Okay.
get into our formal questions. So
Sure.
today we have here Aubrey Walters, and I will have to read all her awesomeness because I can never keep all of that in my head. And so I'm really excited about today's guest because Aubrey represents actually what longevity and leadership really looks like in real estate. Over 15 years in the industry across multiple market cycles. She's built not only production, but just also credibility. She's a broker, she's a mentor, iBuyer certified, involved with IAR and NAR, and active inside EXP through the mentor program, relocation, webinars, and express offers. She's earned recognition as Top Team ISA, being featured in Top Producers Magazine, nominated twice for Platinum Production, and named Top Team Associate of the Year.
Mhm.
All around, just an awesome person. And when you add her team's 30 plus year of combined experience, you get perspective that only comes from doing the work consistently. This will be my word for today, as doing as a whole person, doing
Yeah.
it all of you.
hmm
So that is awesome. So welcome, Aubrey. I'm so glad that you found a few minutes to join us.
Yeah. Thanks for
And
the
yeah,
opportunity.
question I
Yeah.
got to ask you right off the bat: what brought you to real estate in the first place? I don't know your story, so we need to know your story.
Oh, I just always knew I wanted to own my own business, and I did property management for 5 years prior to getting my real estate license.
Okay.
And so I think that kind of just slowly progressed into real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
often tends to be like a natural, cycle
Right.
is
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
property management into real estate.
Right.
And tell everybody out there where you're at, which state, whereabouts.
Indiana.
Oh, that's right. Of course, and I knew that, but yeah, just for everybody out there. Okay, so let's go into a little bit more of the questions that I prepared. You know, every episode we have 7 questions, and then the end
Okay.
we also have some fun stuff planned, which Aubrey has no idea about what that will be. So, because we want to get to know her a little bit, it's all in good fun. Do not worry.
Okay.
Yeah, let me ask you, when you started your real estate, and again, we have to remember, we want to dial it way back. This is for agents who are
Yeah.
kind of seeing themselves at that same place. So that sometimes gets a little bit difficult for agents who have been in the game for a while to dial themselves back. Say, gosh, how was that for me? You know, in the
Right.
beginning.
Right.
But that's what we're trying to highlight with this particular series. So when you started real estate, did you start, strong? Do you remember that at all? And then somewhere along the line, you just lost momentum, and you were like, I don't know about this whole thing. Do you?
I mean, yeah, probably in my first 6 months, I did for sure. I know
Oh,
for sure I did. Yeah.
okay. Anything? What was the? Do you remember what it was about?
Well, I mean, I think for me, it was I was going in with a mindset that it comes to me and not I got to go get it.
Mhm, uh-huh.
And also it was 2009, 10. So
Oh my
interest
gosh!
rates were
Of
not the
course.
greatest. I had no
Yes.
clue what I was doing at all. I didn't even own a cell phone at that time. So
Okay.
I was completely clueless. So I think the first
Okay.
6 months, it was like, I got my license. What do I do? Now what? Ask a lot of questions. So I get it. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. So,
Yes.
yeah, there was a time in that 6 month time period that I really just thought about getting a different job or doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that, this time I wanted to bring a little bit more also of that whole neuroscience component, because that really just illustrates that dopamine cycle just so
Hmm.
well. We go into it and we're like, woohoo, gung ho, and this is all this opportunity, and we've just
Right.
gotten our license, but then it's like, just like you said, and that was actually my first choice in title. I got my license, now what?
Right.
But we already have a series, ongoing like that. So we chose what real estate school isn't teaching us,
Yeah.
and it's exactly that's doesn't get taught. Is we go
Hmm.
into it,
Yeah.
and then all the things start hitting, and we just don't know what to do,
Right.
after,
Right.
and we end up losing momentum, and we're losing steam.
Yeah.
So yeah. And do you remember? I know we talked about that question a little bit earlier, about where we're going to go with this question. But do you remember a little bit about um, what that felt like at that time? Right before you started, where you were like, I don't know about this whole thing. I might have to do something different.
I guess overall I felt like I was failing. I had just worked so hard to get this thing, and then I didn't want to be a failure to my kids, my family, my sphere of influence, and just have to go do something else or go get a 9 to 5, or
Yeah.
how am I going to make a career out of this? That kind of thing. So
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly. And
So there was a big failure feeling. Like, yeah. I mean, I'd say that was the biggest one. I just felt like a failure, right?
okay.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you something else about failure?
Sure.
Can I go? Okay, I'm curious. When you feel, so this might be different from anybody listening, but I want you guys to hear this. Failure, how does that feel in your body? We're going to make a
It's almost
coaching
like
moment out of
for
it.
me, it's almost like a gut feeling.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's different, right? So some
Hmm.
people it's a gut feeling, but it's kind of recognizing where does it sit in our body,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And so that's what I do, like on the coaching side. So we recognize where that sits in our body. It's usually
Right.
what we think affects how we feel, what we
Hmm.
do. If I think I'm going to fail, I'm going to have these crazy feelings in my gut. For you, it's in your
Hmm.
gut. For you guys out there, maybe someplace different. And now I'm going to do what? Nothing. Maybe look for a job or something like that, right?
Right.
So think, feel, do. If I want
Hmm.
to accomplish this thing called real estate, and I have my own business, it's I need to cultivate different thoughts that allow me to feel something different, so I can continue pushing forward, right? So
Right.
that's my little coaching mini
Mhm.
moment in all of that. But it's unique to everybody. So if you're currently out there and you're like, I don't know, I feel this anxiety, figure out where it's sitting in your body, and just know that that is because of what you're currently thinking, and that leads you to do the things that you're currently doing or not doing.
Right.
Perfectly normal to go through. Awesome.
Right.
All right. So, and you started on this a little bit on the story. So, what story did you start telling yourself when that's consistency, when you felt your consistency slipping? You started talking about a little bit about that already.
Oh, well, I mean, had kids. There's no option. It was a have to.
Yeah.
That's what I told
Yeah.
myself. I have to do this. Like it's not a option.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So that was after. That was after. But before that, before you and you got to a point where you when you were maybe this just isn't for me,
mhm,
and you started to feel that fear of failure, that failure, and that almost got you to a point where you were going to go drop out.
yeah.
So what was the story? Do you remember what that story was? Were you thinking perhaps, oh, maybe this just isn't for me, maybe I just can't do it? Do you remember any of that at all at that juncture?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had I vaguely. I think that I mean I can remember like saying like, well, maybe I will go get a different job, or maybe I'll just go back to doing property management. Um, something more stable at that time. That was um again stable. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, I mean, then it just got to the point like, no, I didn't just work so hard to get all this to get this license for nothing. Like
Yeah.
it got to a point where I just had to reset my gears in my head and just say, no, we've got to make this work.
Okay,
So,
I love that. So yeah, you went from that whole spiral of, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know about this, not going to work, and you turned this
hmm
into, I just have to figure it out and actually,
hmm
make it work. And
right.
you guys out there, if you're watching this, I want you to observe something because everybody that comes on, we're going way back in 15 years, 20 years, and say, do you remember what that is like for you?
hmm
And sometimes it takes a minute because you either have done so much work or you've had a certain level of success. You're like, I don't know, it was just a thing. But when you're
Yeah.
so new, it's just such a
Yeah.
big, it's pivotal.
hmm
So that's why I love having experienced agents come on and kind of poke back with them, see how
Right.
was that? Because I feel like most agents probably encounter in the beginning or somewhere along in the journey this
hmm
point where where it just stops or they're
hmm
thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I need to make a change, market
Right.
downturns and all of that.
Right.
So I love like all the honesty and transparency that you guys bring. So we're basically in the same boat,
Right. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
were maybe at one point, right?
Yeah.
And also what you're saying is like I had to just pick it up and get myself in a different direction and get it figured out
Right.
because
Right.
everybody's depending on me to make this thing work.
Right.
So awesome. Um, so when you were at that juncture when you were saying, oh, maybe I need to get like a job, get myself more stable. What were the things that you started avoiding? Like, did you they kind of get to a point where you're like, oh, I just don't want to make these phone calls anymore. I just don't want to do that anymore. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, you nailed it. The
Oh,
calls. Nobody wants to
how I
make
know
phone
my
calls.
agents.
Yeah, no, that was the hardest thing I think for me starting in real estate is because again, I did not own a cell phone. Didn't even know that was supposed to happen. It's just make calling strangers. Like I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. Like what if I'm going to get rejected? What if I get hung up on? Like, every possible negative thought you could think of probably went through my brain every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For new agents, I just had, I'm going to share something here real quick, but I had a new agent, one of my new agents yesterday that I'm taking through the program, and she had her first ever call with a seller's lead.
Yeah.
And, she was just so nervous, and rightfully
Yeah.
so. But it's
Mhm.
also allowing her to say, it's okay. It's okay for you to
Mhm.
be nervous. You don't know what you don't know. And
Yep.
you learn this thing on
Mhm.
the fly as you go through it. You don't know what you're going to
Mhm.
object to or overcome
Mhm.
unless you allow yourself to go through the process.
Right. For sure.
So allow yourself to go through the process before you give up on yourself. Give
Right.
yourself that much. Unless you come
Right.
from an awesome sales background, and most
Mhm.
agents don't, you have to learn the sales language, which is a completely, entirely separate
Mhm.
language that
Yeah.
you just have never been taught before.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, when we feel like we're going to get rejected or we don't know what people are going to say,
Mhm.
it goes right back to our body. Do you remember how that felt in your body?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I
how
was
did it?
nervous. Yeah, I mean, it was nervous, that whole gut feeling all over again, just like they're not gonna like me or they're gonna hang
Yes,
up on me or
yes,
yeah.
yeah. So
So,
little coaching moment here too. It's classic. It's that kind of old wiring. If our brain
mhm.
don't know what's around the corner, it
Right.
it decides it's going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. That's just all there is to it. All you want to do is make a phone call,
Right.
but it feels so strong in our body because your brain
Mhm.
is deciding friend or foe, who's out
Mhm.
there. And it's going to err on the side of foe because that's what we're designed to be survivors and protect ourselves.
Right.
So we have to acknowledge that that feeling is part of our old wiring, but we can certainly take that feeling and make phone calls. Do
Right.
you still do you still feel nervous now?
No.
No. Okay. Same. And that's great. Some people
I can talk
do.
to anybody now.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. What is the skin armadillo? I think we develop armadillo skin or something like that
Yeah.
as we go through this real estate journey. And I think eventually figure out, oh, these no's, these rejections, they're not killing me. It's just okay. Somebody said no,
Right.
on to the next conversation.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want you guys to know here too out there that is so completely normal. So it makes perfect sense when you get to a moment where rejection feels so hard and you maybe already kind of teetering, is this for me? Can I make this work? Well, that's just adds to it. And it sometimes becomes an easy way out of this whole thing. But give yourself the chance to
Mhm.
explore it by doing like phone calls and cold calls and all of that correctly. And
Mhm.
there is a way. If that's of
Mhm.
interest to anyone out there, reach out to me or reach out to Aubrey. We got you and be able to take
Right.
you through it in a way that actually makes sense,
Right.
for you. All right. So as you went back in your journey, was there a moment when you went through all of that you realized this wasn't really about motivation, but more about how you were responding to pressure? Did that ever come into your thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think and it's normal because it all becomes like so overwhelming, you know. It's just a matter of how you respond to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mhm. Agreed. And most people they don't see it as they don't even see the other side because they usually just taught, oh, it's about you're just not motivated enough. You need to do
Mhm.
more and just push through and just fight harder for it, But
Mhm.
nobody ever shows them the other side. It says, oh, this is really simply how your body is responding to pressure. So
Mhm.
normalizing that and allowing people to see that, agents to see that, goes just such
Mhm.
a long way because
Right.
not everybody responds to that just straight up motivational style, that push
Right.
harder, push through style, and we lose a lot of agents because of that. We lose so
Mhm.
much great talent in real estate
Mhm.
because the prevalent idea is more of that motivational style coaching that just always
Mhm.
says, "Oh, do more, push harder, good to
Right.
it."
Well, I mean, because everybody learns differently. I
Yes.
mean, that's definitely something I've learned. I taught myself how I learn better as opposed to any real estate coach I've ever been with. But, everybody learns differently. And it's a matter of how you learn it, interpret it, and move forward with it.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that you were able to crack that code for yourself
Yeah.
because a lot of agents, again, they don't. That's one of the reasons
Hmm.
we have such an immense high failure rate in real estate,
Right. Yep.
and so we need to, my goal is to bring more awareness around that issue so we
Yeah.
can retain all this great talent.
Right.
You guys spend so much money, effort, and time to get me your license.
Right.
So let's make this thing possible because it is attainable for everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so you got over that particular hump, as we will call it, and so tell me a little bit what helped you rebuild consistency from there in a way it felt more doable and not so, I don't know, punishable or punishing. I guess
Time
the word.
blocking has been
Okay,
really good.
okay, tell me more
Yeah.
about that.
As far as just like your schedule every day, just time block. I time block a lot, everything pretty much.
Okay,
Just everything down to the hour or 2 hour increments, whatever it is. So been a big, because that way, if I've only got 2 hours, I'm not going to get overwhelmed if it goes over. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's like, okay, I've got 2 hours to do this, or I've got 2 hours to do this, or I've got 2 hours to do this. I'm not going to overwhelm myself by saying I can't get it all done. Nope, I got 2 hours. Let's just get it done, knock it out, whatever we can, move on.
okay,
Makes
yeah, I love
Does
that.
that make
Um,
sense? Like, is that helpful?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that is how you do it, right? So it is we're sharing individual
Yep.
experiences of different agents, and
Yep.
so this is what's working for you. It's like for you, it's time blocking. It's like okay,
Hmm.
I know I'm going to take these 2 hours, knock out what I need to knock out,
Yep.
and then everything, and then is the next block of time, and that requires whatever that next block of
Right.
time requires. So yeah,
Right.
and it's about giving yourself clarity. So
Hmm.
we're bringing a bit more of that coaching in. It's about clarity. It's okay, instead
Hmm.
of spinning on all the things, 2 hours, let's execute something within in these
Right.
next 2 hours. And your brain is like, okay, I'm on it, got it. This is what we need to
Hmm.
do. And it tends to move forward just in a much more directed way than if we just start spinning on all the things that need, to happen.
Right.
Yeah. What is your daily non-negotiable?
My daily non-negotiable
Yes.
would be making cold calls.
All right. Woo! See, that's why I love Aubrey. I always say, what's your number one job in real estate? And there's only one answer. In my world, there's one answer. And what would your answer be to that, by the way?
My
What's your
what? I'm
number
sorry.
What's your number one job in real estate? You have one job in real estate. What is it?
Selling houses? Like, what do you mean? Calling people.
Woo! Yeah, right. Having conversations. That's our job as
Yes.
real estate agents.
Conversations. Yes.
Yes. So you guys listening to this new and you have all the things out there. You need to go. Perhaps you're joining FastCap, EXP's awesome
Hmm.
training program, or you are, setting up your CRM. You're supposed to be working on your business cards and your website and da da da. Slow down. Your
Hmm.
job is have conversations,
Hmm.
two-way real estate related conversations. Everything else will flow from that.
Yep.
And nothing will happen unless you have those conversations, because that's
Right.
your bread and butter right there. And with it, 15 years in the industry, all this experience, what did I, and this was not a prep question. This was one I just picked up on and I had to toss it in there and
Yeah.
say, what's the thing that's on your non-negotiable is having your conversations. And for you,
Right.
it's calling expireds. So yes. So that is the thing that gives you longevity in the industry, keeping
Right.
that in mind. I had many years ago, I had an agent say to me, and he's like, doesn't matter what kind of day you had, you could have 6 closings in that day. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't we all love that, by the
Right.
way? But if you didn't make your connections today, your phone calls or whatever, you have not had a successful day. And that is absolutely branded in my head.
Right.
I know, because there's so much truth to that. And if you
Hmm.
have 6 closing a day, my gosh, nobody wants to make phone calls. We're like, yes, this is the cat's meow.
Yeah.
But it is the icing on the cake of all the other work that has to continue
Hmm.
to feed that, so we continue to have great closings. So,
Right.
so I love
Yeah.
that.
No, I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that that's staying on top of mind for you.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, what would you say to an agent who feels embarrassed that they keep restarting?
Don't.
Mic drop. That's it. Don't.
We've all been there, done that. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just pick it up and do it again.
Yep. It's just like riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you're get at it. Use it as a learning tool. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, just don't. I think we've all been there. Most agents, if they're honest,
Hmm.
have been there.
Yep.
Or they encountered it in various stages of the game.
Right.
It's not only the beginning; it can be
Right.
midpoint. Different years, different cycles, different circumstances. There is
Hmm.
sometimes a lot of stopping and stop and going in the real estate industry within your own journey.
Yeah.
So just because you're encountering this in the beginning right now, you may encounter it again. There may be an agent just like perhaps yourself. Have you had in the last 15 years multiple stopping and going? Have you
Have
encountered?
I?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? So we're all in that space. It's like nothing is ever consistent, and
Yeah.
we
Well, I
stop
don't
and
believe
think,
you ever go start off at the same place you end. Does that make sense?
ooh, tell me more.
Like you're never going to be at the same brokerage that you started with when you end your career.
Okay, yeah.
Not
I
a
think
lot of
that's
agents have.
I think that's true.
But
That's the
I know
movement.
there's pivotal points in the market that make people shy away from continuing on with their career. So it's okay to start over, even if you're starting over in a different place. You
Ooh, I
can
like
still
that.
use that as a learning tool to help you move forward.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Exactly. So when we're looking at it from that way, which you even thought about it in a little bit different way, but an awesome way of, yeah, just because it didn't work out perhaps in one place doesn't mean it can't work out somewhere else, and use it as a tool. Say, okay, what didn't work for me? What perhaps
Right.
was missing? And
Right.
what, because when we're out there looking for brokerages too, I feel like, it's for us to try to, in the best way, interview a brokerage or try to find the pieces that we're missing. And
Hmm.
sometimes that goes, we have to be able to figure out what are the questions that we need to ask in order to do that.
Right.
And agents sometimes just also don't know what is the right questions to ask
For
in
sure.
order to find that next best fit, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's a two-way interview process. It's not you interviewing them, or yeah, it's not them interviewing you. It's you interviewing them as
exactly.
well. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I love. And just because it didn't work out one, you take that and say, okay, well, that didn't work. Now, what can I
Right.
learn from that so I can go out and try to have a better fit with the next brokerage? So love
Right.
that because
Right.
that is like the brokerage piece. And then, of course, with your own, and then you have to look at your own, what you're doing or not doing as far as what
Right.
keeps you from starting, restarting, and then stopping again too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, I that is awesome. So, okay, love it. I can talk to you for the rest of the day. But I think you help brought a lot of clarity to some new agents out there. And, you've been in the industry for a long time. And so, you guys, it is so doable. It is so doable. Find the people that can help you in order to get the success that you want, because the success is out there for you and attainable for pretty much everybody. And don't stop. All right, lightning round. Let's find out a few things about Aubrey. Aubrey, are you an early bird or you prefer slow mornings?
I am a slow morning person.
Okay, what does that
Yeah.
mean in realtor speak?
I'm at my desk by 9.
Okay,
Does
I
that
think in
make
realtor,
sense?
I think in realtor speak that's still kind of early.
Well, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. Do you prefer phone calls or voice notes? Notes. Phone calls or voice notes?
Phone calls.
Phone calls. Okay, awesome. One thing you overthought on pretty heavily when you first got into the industry.
One thing, what? I'm sorry.
One thing you overthought on frequently when you first got into the industry.
Oh, first thought on everything.
Everything. Yes, I know. That's
I
right. It's
mean,
like everything.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah. Okay. Favorite cold call snack? Are there snacks involved?
um, no, not really. I do everything in the
Okay, no
morning, so
snacks.
there's really no snack involved.
Okay. One thing you wish you worried about less in the beginning.
um, strangers having my phone number.
Okay, interest. Okay, yeah, good
Because
one. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Giving my phone number out to a bunch of people that I don't even know. It was
Interest. Okay.
yeah.
All right. What helps you reset when you're feeling down?
Um that I have to do this. I just have a I still have that mentality that I just I have to do this.
Awesome. Yeah, nothing has changed much, right? It's like,
No.
okay, I still have to do it.
Nope. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So, in the spirit of this entire series, this
Mhm.
last one is going to be a one-word answer. And so, in the spirit of series season, someone out there just got their license. By the way, congratulations! And is
Yeah.
saying, "Oh my gosh, now what? I'm starting and I'm stopping." One word. What is the one word that you or that would capture that thing that you would tell them in one word?
Progress.
Ooh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's it. We'll leave it right there, Aubrey. It was a pleasure having you on
Thank you.
today and allowing me to peel back a little bit on your real estate journey. You know, we all make it look good on the front facing, but we're all, you know, going through stuff. So it is wonderful to be able to connect with agents and allow to peek behind the curtain and see how their journey is either going, how it's been, what is happening. So thank you again for
Yeah.
having for allowing me to have you. Where can people find you if they want more information about you and your team?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, my website, like I'm kind of everywhere.
Yeah, so you guys connect with Aubrey, connect with me if you have any questions in regards to like college jitters or how to stay more consistent or some of the
Yep.
other topics that we've been talking about. Connect with Aubrey.
Sure.
She'll help you get through phone calls and stay more consistent. We are here for you. We are here to help you. So go have an awesome day. Again, Aubrey, thank you. Appreciate you. And
No,
I will
thank you.
talk to
Absolutely.
you soon.